Here's a fun project, printmaking, and it's pretty simple and easy to do. We'll just need a few supplies like some pens, scissors, paintbrush, paint, paper, and some old styrofoam containers. So save some of your styrofoam containers from your fruit or your meat, wash them and put them aside. They're always good for all kinds of projects. So we'll take our styrofoam containers and we'll cut the edges off, and the remainder will become the printing plate. It's where we're going to put our design and the paint or the ink we're going to use, and then we'll press paper on it and we'll have a bunch of prints. It's so fun for all kinds of occasions, and even the history of printmaking could become a nice lesson to do with your students. Now that we have our printing plate, take a piece of paper and trim it to fit the plate. That way you'll know exactly how much of an area to make your design. And we'll draw a design on the paper. Cut a few pieces of paper, that way you'll have extra in case you don't like the first design you make. Since we're close to Halloween, I'm making a pumpkin, my favorite. It's simple and it will show you how the print process works. Now that we have our design, we're going to put the paper over the print plate and trace it on. Just gently now. We'll take the paper off and we'll make a deeper impression once it's done. These lines are going to not show any of the ink, so anything that you press down will be void of ink. So you have to remember that. Now we have the image, and I'll take this paintbrush and use the back side to follow along the drawing and make deeper impressions into the plate. This will stop the ink from coming off onto the paper once we press the paper onto it. So wherever these lines are, there will be no ink on your paper. So just follow it along and copy all your little lines that you traced. If you have a little problems with things, you can use a different technique of just pressing, and that will help make it a little easier to get a deep impression of your drawing. And the next tool we're going to need is a scraper. So I'm going to take a little piece of cardboard and put some painter's tape around it. I'm just going to wrap it around the one end a couple of times just to make it firmer and to stop the paint from being absorbed into the cardboard and making it soggy. You could also use these bits and pieces that we cut off as your scraper. They'd work just as good. Yep, looks like this will work perfectly. So I'm going to take some acrylic paint straight out of the container and just press it onto the cardboard that we taped and use that as a scraper and just scrape the paint across. You can even put some dots of the paint right onto the plate and then scrape them right across. Find what works best for you and your students. This is so fun. It's messy too. My hand's already covered with paint. Once you get a thin layer of paint, it's time for paper. Put your paper down and press it. Oh, oops, I got paint all over. Let me wipe some paint off my hands. Press your paper down and then pull it off gently. And there you go, your first print. Well, my first print, a pumpkin. So cute. And the one great thing about printmaking is that you can use this plate over and over to make multiple images of your design. It will come out a little bit different each time, but it's fun. Just make a bunch of them. Try different color paper, try different color paint. Just keep going. Maybe you're going to make invitations this way or flyers to let people know you're having a yard sale. Now, if you wanted to add words to your design, you have to remember they have to be reversed. You have to write it backwards. I'm going to write Halloween. Of course, I got to start on the right side and work my way left. Well, I did make one mistake, and the mistake was I didn't do a pre-design on paper. So my word Halloween didn't fit. I had to squish the letters at the end. So always do your design first on paper, and then you'll know it will fit perfectly, especially when you're using letters or writing words. I'm going to do some squiggles and wiggles here on the cat's body to see if it will show up as fur when we do the print. I'll do it on the body and face and see what happens. All right, I'm going to squeeze some white paint here, and I'm going to use black paper. All right, spread a thin layer just like before. I think there was a little excess in some of the letters and the cracks here, so I'm going to pull it out. All right, let me get a piece of paper, press it on, and see what happens. Paint on my hands again. Oh, nice. Look at some of those squiggles and wiggles did show up as fur. And the word Halloween is the right way, the opposite of the plate. It was a little squishy at the end. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to make a few corrections by making the end a little deeper and another thin layer of paint. I added some orange to it this time. I'm going to remove some of the paint from the letters because I think it puddled up there a little bit too much. Give it a good press and see what happens. Ooh, I should have used black paint and orange paper. That would have looked fun. Well, there we have it. Printmaking. Easy and fun. Have a lot of paper ready because the kids are going to want to make a lot of prints and hang them up. It's a fun way to decorate for the holidays. I hope you get to try it with your kids or your students and have a wonderful time. Thank you for watching.